In Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0, Yuta Okkotsu did something which convinced me he would be the first of Gojo's students to truly exceed special grade. And the person we have to thank for that is Toge Inamaki. When fighting Suguru Geto, Yuta gave us our first glimpse of his copy curse technique by using Inamaki's curse speech. And don't get me wrong, semi-first grade sorcerer Toge Inamaki is incredibly strong, but when compared to Yuta, his own curse speech looks significantly more lackluster. Inamaki can crush first grade curse spirits in one go, but if he overuses his ability or gives commands that are too powerful, it has harmful repercussions on his own body. Yuta, however, commanded an entire army of curse spirits to simply die on the spot with absolutely no repercussions. His simpler commands, like don't move, also prove very effective against powerful reincarnated sorcerers like Uro. The obvious difference between Inamaki and Yuta is their cursed energy. Yuta is second only to Sukuna in cursed energy, meaning he has even more than Gojo. To use his copy technique, he also needs to be connected to Rika, hence allowing him to access a potentially endless pool of cursed energy. It's his unbelievable cursed energy output and natural talent for Jujutsu that allows him to make cursed speech so much stronger than Inamaki can. So I went and chose 5 other curse techniques I think he could copy in order to truly push himself past the limits of special grade. The first curse technique we're going to discuss is also the one I think would be the strongest in Yuta's hands. And no, it's not Limitless because Yuta can't effectively copy Limitless without having the 6 eyes. The curse technique in question belongs to Nobara Kugisaki herself.
Nobara Kugisaki. You should be honored, boys. I'm your group's girl.
Specifically, Straw Doll technique, Resonance. Resonance is an incredibly underrated technique, one that I think has the potential to be one of the strongest in the entire series, and Yuta Okkotsu is the man who can help it get there. Nobara's fight with Mahito in Shibuya perfectly sums up why this ability is so busted. She was able to perform Resonance on Mahito's duplicate and then directly attack the real Mahito's soul. The soul is a recurring theme in Jujutsu Kaisen, and it is shown as part of you that is separate from the body's conventional methods of durability. This means attacks that can damage the soul are among the most deadly in all of Jujutsu Kaisen. For example, Mahito's Idol Transfiguration, Maki's soul-splitting katana, Yuji's soul-grabbing strikes, and of course, Nobara's Straw Doll technique. Now, Nobara's cursed energy and output don't even come close to special grade level, and yet one strike of Resonance was enough to leave lasting effects on Mahito's soul, which can't be repaired by conventional reverse curse technique. Even Mahito said she wasn't really all that, but her technique was f***ing dangerous. So now imagine a soul-damaging attack in the hands of someone as unbelievably powerful as Yuta Okkotsu. His cursed energy is far beyond Nobara. So I think if it were him to land Resonance on Mahito, it may have just led to him being exercised on the spot. Whenever we see Resonance used, the attack always comes from within the body, and it damages the soul additionally. So in theory, I believe with this cursed technique and his immense cursed energy, Yuta could even defeat Gojo and Sukuna. Gojo is definitely the trickier case here, since we don't know if Infinity would be able to detect the cursed energy of the attack. I strongly suspect it won't, since the technique seems like it deals damage instantly as opposed to needing to travel to the opponent like Cleave or Dismantle. What would be trickier here is actually getting something imbued with Gojo's cursed energy to use it on. It's that which makes me doubt whether he would be able to do it or not. And realistically, while Yuta's running around trying to get something from Gojo, he's just gonna pop an infinite void, and I'm sorry, but you're cooked. Sukuna, however, does not have infinity. He also has left a hand somewhere on the battlefield in Shinjuku, and even has a mysterious 20th finger left somewhere in the world. So yeah, if Yuta had Straw Doll in his arsenal right now, I believe he could deal more damage to Sukuna than anyone ever has, including Gojo. And this would be damage that Reverse Curse Technique could not save him from. I just know that there are angry Sukuna nerds already typing comments because I suggested a way their baby could be hurt. Well, believe it or not, I actually make these videos because I enjoy it, and the main thing I enjoy is discussing ways our protagonist can defeat the super OP villain. Call me old-fashioned, but I'm genuinely rooting for the good guys here, and I love Yuta Okkotsu, he is my favourite character. The next curse technique I wanted to discuss is Boogie Woogie. And yes, I know a technique like this would gain no real advantage from having more cursed energy poured into it, although I still think it would be incredibly effective for Yuta, specifically since he almost always fights alongside Rika. Todo has demonstrated the effectiveness of Boogie Woogie many times. It's incredible disorienting and difficult to work around for the opponent. Granted, I don't think anyone except Todo can use it anywhere near as effectively as he does, since reaction speed and his self-proclaimed 530,000 IQ is what maximizes its usefulness. However, of the few characters who can compare to Todo's level of genius, specifically in Jujutsu, I think Yuta Okkotsu is definitely one of them. Hell, the guy learnt a really advanced form of reverse curse technique in just a matter of months. The only other person we've seen manage to do that is Higuruma and Yuji. Okay, to be fair, Higuruma learnt it in like 5 minutes, but whatever. Look, I'm not saying Yuta is as intelligent as Gojo and Higuruma. However, I am saying he is incredibly underrated when it comes to being a genius in Jujutsu. I think he definitely deserves that title. I would just say Higuruma and Gojo are geniuses among genii. Is genii a word? F off, you get my point. If you actually go and read through the Gojo versus Sukuna fight, you will find that the person understanding the most of what's going on is Yuta. He knew from the second that Gojo started healing his burnt out curse technique that he was pushing way past his limits, and he was not surprised to see the blood come out of his nose. Yuta may not have known or even thought about the possibility that you could do half of the things that Sukuna and Gojo did in that fight. However, just from seeing it, he can probably replicate a few of those things if needed. As much as I love Kusakabe GPT, I do think Yuta was the one that had the highest understanding of the Jujutsu used in that battle when observing it. So I think if there was any character who would be able to use Todo's technique that effectively, it is Yuta. But to be completely honest with you, I'd rather just have Todo back. Another technique I love thinking about Yuta copying is Nanami's 7-3 technique. It forcibly creates a weak point at 7-3 when selecting a target, and deals significant damage when hit. In fact, Nanami's strongest 7-3 hit is compared to a blue jab from Gojo. And yes, I know that comparison was made to make Gojo's weakest hit seem really strong, not the other way round, but the point still stands, so go fuck yourself. Yuta has already shown that his simplest attacks are closer to the level of Gojo than they are anyone else, and all he uses is his immense cursed energy for reinforcement. Hell, a simple punch from Yuta was enough to draw blood from the f***ing Heian era Sukuna. There's no way anyone else there could have done that except maybe Yuji. Actually, f that, definitely Yuji. Maybe Maki? I don't know. Now imagine how broken Yuta's attacks would be if he could use Nanami's 7-3 technique. Nanami's 7-3 technique plus Yuta's own cursed energy reinforcement would surely be on the level of Gojo's attacks. It's a very simple yet amazingly effective technique which Yuta would hugely benefit from. The next curse technique is a pretty interesting one, which we have only seen in action one time. I'm talking about Utahime's Solo Forbidden Area. By performing a dance and a chant to her absolute fullest, she can boost a single sorcerer's output to 120%. Now, I don't know if a technique like this would benefit from having higher cursed energy and output of your own, but I don't really see why it wouldn't. In Yuta's hands, he may be able to boost the power of another sorcerer to numbers as high as 200%. And then if Gojo did the rest, he could have got off a hollow purple that was around 280% power. However, if this were possible, surely Gojo would have had Yuta copy Solo Forbidden Area, and then have him perform the boost instead of Utahime. Also, I really don't think there is a single good sorcerer left who would benefit from a boost more than Yuta would from simply pouring his resources into a different technique he can use for himself, or a domain expansion or something. The final curse technique I wanted to discuss is Mai's construction ability, and to be honest, I really don't know how effective this would actually be in a fight. Mai and her 2 teaspoons of cursed energy can manage to create 1 extra bullet per day, which is really shit. When connected to Rika, Yuta gains access to a potentially endless pool of cursed energy, so I think it's safe to assume he would be able to go a little bit beyond 1 bullet per day. Although even if we completely remove the limit on what he could build, I still don't know how useful this would actually be. I mean, I guess it would be a good way to replenish a damaged katana or create a nuclear missile or some shit, but beyond that, how useful is it? I used to think it was really broken until I actually sat down to make this video and thought about it and realized it's kinda mid. I mean, what's he gonna do? Just drop a building on Sukuna? And to be honest, it's not like his katana is really worth using his copy curse technique to create a new one as opposed to just telling the opponents to go fucking shit themselves. Now, if I had to rank which one of these curse techniques would be the most effective for Yuta, I would say at number 5, Solar Forbidden Area, at number 4, Construction, at number 3, 7-3, at number 2, Boogie Woogie, and at number 1, Resonance. And I'm realizing that's almost the exact same order I put them in originally. Oh well. The point is, I think Yuta's boundless cursed energy and his connection to the Queen of Curses was enough to land him special grade already. I think the copy technique in the hands of someone like Yuta and his broken domain expansion mean he has already achieved Gojo's dream for him and exceeded the limits of special grade. He is the first to break out of special grade and join Gojo and Sukuna in a little grade I like to call the Limitless grade. And I have a feeling Yuji may be joining him there soon, although I also think that Yuji is going to die by the end of Jujutsu Kaisen. I think he'll take Sukuna with him, but I think they're both going together. Also, I know I make shit tons of videos on Yuta, but that's simply because he is my favourite character and I just really enjoy doing it. As always though, please do let me know if there is a video you want me to make, and also feel free to comment what techniques you think Yuta would be broken with. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for the kill count part 2. I know I said that last time, okay? I promise, it's coming soon. Just give me a few more days. I can't